Well, the Miami International Boat Show is back next week, bringing with it some controversy over the staging of the sea trials over a protected manatee habitat in Biscayne Bay.
Environmentalists are very concerned about the protection of these gentle sea cows who continue to die in record numbers across our state. But boat show organizers say they're stepping up to make sure none are harmed during their event. The fight to save our manatees is tonight's Don't Trash Our Treasure.
They're in a critical zone. They're in a manatee protection zone.
Eco-activist MJ Algarra is worried. It's just days before the Miami International Boat Show officially opens, and as they've done historically for years, manatees have come back to this section of Biscayne Bay along the Venetian Causeway looking for food.
This is one of the only places left with seagrass in the area where manatees munch all day, have their babies.
And it's here where once again the boat show will host its sea trials, test drives on the water, staged on floating docks for 100 temporary slips over what is essential manatee habitat.
It's no secret that obviously if we had any alternative, this area is not where we would want sea trials.
Rashidi Stambouli is the interim director of Miami-Dade's Department of Environmental Resource Management that loudly objected when county commissioners allowed the boat show to host the sea trials here last year.
How concerned are we? We're very concerned. We don't want to see any injuries to manatees. We do not want to see any fatalities.
But despite the same objections from Durham last November, commissioners unanimously approved a permit for the boat show to host its sea trials here for the remainder of their lease that expires in 2029, unless a manatee is injured or killed during the event, in which case the permit would go back before the commission.
They did a wonderful job last year, really following some very strict rules to make sure our manatees were protected.
But though no manatees were hit during the boat show last year, the county report shows approximately 16 to 34 manatees were observed during the sea trials. And despite warnings to stop all activity on the water, many captains did not, unaware of the alerts that there were manatees in the area.
As all plans, it all comes down to execution. So a lot of this is going to have to do with how they actually execute during the event.
Boat show organizers responded this year by reducing the number of slips by 50 and reinforcing their manatee protection plan. There will now be a manatee spotter on all vessels, more manatee spotters on the docks and bridges, and the drones in the sky will be back.
But that gives us a full 360-degree visibility from everywhere.
Boat show producers say they've also enhanced the communication system to make sure everyone stays informed.
We communicate constantly about the activity in the area. If a manatee is spotted anywhere within the docks or within a boat, a message is relayed to all the boat captains. We'll cease operation.
If a manatee is spotted within 50 feet of the sea trial area, all activity on the water must stop immediately until that manatee is 50 feet away from the staging area or until a half hour has passed and that manatee cannot be seen anymore. Very important, that manatee cannot be harassed or shooed away by any of the vendors or boat operators, and anyone who violates that will have their sea trial permit pulled for the duration of the show. Still, for activists like Dave Dobler, it's more than just potential boat strikes that are worrisome.
It's gonna be like I-95, just jam-packed full of boat traffic.
It's all the noise and activity potentially scaring away hungry manatees.
You know, the manatees feeding, them nursing, they're going to go away from noise. They're going to want to go somewhere else.
But there are little options for a hungry manatee in the northern basin where 93% of all seagrass is gone because of pollution.
But it's still a very difficult situation for the manatees.
It has been a devastating 2 years for Florida manatees. 2021, the deadliest on record. More than 1,100 died. Last year, we lost 800, most of them starving to death because of the massive loss of seagrass across our state. So far this year, we've lost 67. Boat show organizers say they know how critical it is they get this right.
We will do everything in our power to protect the natural resources because our industry depends on the water.
Activists say they'll be watching over them to make sure they do.
What I want to know is how the Miami Boat Show is going to make Biscayne Bay better than when they found it.
Well, to show their commitment to protecting the environment, boat show organizers pledged to go plastic free this year With all food and drink vendors now only offering sustainable service items, Durham, FWC, Marine Patrol, and U.S. Fish and Wildlife agents will be on the water during those sea trials to look out for manatees. Activists are also encouraging residents to be vigilant and report any manatees they see near the sea trial area. We have a link to that as well as the boat show's full manatee protection plan and sea trial route. Just scan that QR code. It'll take you straight to tonight's Don't Trash Our Treasure section on local10.com. Obviously not the ideal place, but the boat show is doing what they can to make sure those manatees are protected.
Right, and then we all have to do our part too if you're out on the
We
water.
need 1,000 eyes on the water.
Exactly.
To look after them.